Hello everyone, this is Mario. Welcome to stage 10 of La Vuelta 2019 in Pro Cycling Manager. So today the riders are coming back to racing after a rest day in the French town of Pau. In Portuguese I would probably say it Pau, but I think we are supposed to say it Pau. And today we have an individual time trial of almost 34 kilometers connecting Jurançon to Pau. It's mostly flat. I would call it a flat time trial. There are a couple of small hills. I don't think they are going to influence the race that much. And this is going to be one where I really believe Primoz Roglic is going to increase his lead in the GC. So let's try not to make that increase a significant one and try to fight with Valverde and Quintana. Of course, I will also try to aim at the stage win with Nelson Oliveira. He's among the top three favorites for today's stage, together with Primoz Roglic, Tony Martin, and we also have to consider Patrick Bevin as one of the top contenders for the stage. It's not going to be easy, but Nelson Oliveira will try to win this one. Once more, Pro Cycling Manager is delivering some pieces of comedy, and again, Steven Kruijswijk is being interviewed and asked if he thinks Primoz Roglic can be dethroned from the lead. The answer is the same. It's always the same answer. So he thinks it's still possible. And also the game really believes that Primoz Roglic is going to have some trouble to hang on to his lead in the GC because he doesn't particularly like time trials. Well, guess what, Pro Cycling Manager? Roglic is in fact the best time trialist in this Vuelta. And so the time trial is about to begin. The first rider starting his efforts today is Sergio Rodrigues. But the funny thing is that he wasn't even supposed to be in this La Vuelta. Well, he isn't in the actual real race. But due to a slight mistake in the start list I'm using for this one, he was actually introduced to the race instead of Oscar Rodrigues. The worst part of this is that he's one of the worst riders in the team. For some reason, he's the last in the GC at the moment, and Oscar Rodrigues would actually be the leader for Euskadi. So the first Movistar rider to start the time trial is Jorge Arcas. He is not the worst time trialist in the team. Doesn't have a chance of winning it, of course. And of course, as usual, I'm going to use the first riders in the team, Arcas and Erviti, to try to assess the effort level needed for the time trial, so that when Oliveira, Quintana, and Valverde come, they will try their best to get the best time possible. Also, I've been checking the hills in this time trial. Both of them are around 6 to 7% average, I think. And the first one is about 2.5 kilometers long. The second one is a bit shorter, or around 2 kilometers. So they are not the biggest difficulties the riders could have. But still, I may try to gain a bit with Valverde and Quintana on those climbs. And Erviti is now approaching the final kilometer. There's a slight uphill here. It's really costing the riders a lot of energy and some time. So let's see, he was bringing the 20th best time in the second intermediate checkpoint, and in the finish line is 7th. Wow, that was a spectacular final section of the race by Emmanuel Erviti, 1:34 behind the best time of Benjamin Thomas. And now, about to finish his time trial, we have Patrick Bevin. He has the best time, well, now the second best time in the second intermediate checkpoint. He was beaten by Lawson Craddock. He also has the third best in the first intermediate checkpoint behind Craddock and Tony Martin. So he's going to get the best time here in the end, I think. Yes, he beats Benjamin Thomas by over 1 minute. So a really strong time by Patrick Bevin. Let's see how Lawson Craddock and Tony Martin are going to do. And Nelson Oliveira is now beginning his time trial. He's not having the best day of his life, a -1 race day condition for today, but still I will try to do my best with him. Let's actually try to save a bit of energy with him in the uphills. Here, let's drop his effort to 71 so that he can then push a bit more in the flat sections of the time trial. I would also like to apologize for a bit of lag that you are probably seeing. My computer is not dealing well with today's stage, so I'm really sorry for that. So Nelson Oliveira now 1 kilometer from the first intermediate checkpoint. Let's see how he's doing so far. And currently he's fourth, 14 seconds behind the best time here, which is from Lawson Craddock. He's only 1 second behind Patrick Bevin in this intermediate checkpoint. And actually Bevin got the best time in the end. So Craddock and Tony Martin lost a bit of time in the final section of the race. But now just behind Nelson Oliveira, Dario Cataldo beat the best time in that intermediate checkpoint. So now going for the second intermediate checkpoint, and let's see the time of Nelson Oliveira here, and he's bringing still the fourth best time, 29 seconds behind Lawson Craddock. And so now almost in the final kilometer, Nelson Oliveira, let's see how he does. He's now on that small uphill near the end and almost finishing, 500 meters to go now. Let's see, come on Nelson, do your best. And he's first. He's got the best time in the end, 50 seconds ahead of Patrick Bevin. Wow, what happened here? I cannot believe this. How did he beat Bevin's time by 50 seconds in the end? He was 15 or 17 seconds behind in the second checkpoint. Wow, that final section is really important. We now have Thomas de Gendt in the final 2 kilometers of the time trial. He's bringing the best time in the second intermediate checkpoint. He was 1 second behind in the first. Also at the moment, the best time is no longer from Nelson Oliveira. Vasil Kirienka beat the time of Oliveira, and Thomas de Gendt is losing a lot of time now, so I don't think he's going to be able to beat Kirienka in the end. Let's check his time, and he's third, 9 seconds behind Kirienka, so Nelson Oliveira is still second, only 3 seconds behind Kirienka, but is not going to take the win on this one. And so I'm now about to start the time trial with Marc Soler, and with him I'm going to attempt a different strategy than the one I used with Nelson Oliveira. I'm actually doing the same with Rojas, so I will try to conserve a bit more during the flat sections and then go harder in the small uphills to try to take advantage on the strong climbing abilities of these riders. If that works, that is probably going to be the tactics I'm going to use with Quintana and Valverde. So let's see the time of Marc Soler in the second checkpoint. Let's see how he does. And he's getting the 8th best time, 56 seconds behind. So he didn't lose any time during this section of the stage. Let's now decrease his effort a bit so that he can then go for it again in the final flat section. And so Nairo Quintana is starting his time trial, and I will use the same strategy as I used for Marc Soler, or I'm using for him. Valverde is also about to begin, so I will start this at 70 in this small flat section, and then increase the effort to 73 in the first uphill. So let's see, Valverde is on a +1 day, Quintana on a -1, so not good for Quintana. Still is on 71 time trial. Valverde is on a 73 today. So this is apparently looking good. And let's see how this goes. In the meantime, Marc Soler is in the final kilometer of his time trial. And I think he's going to get a nice time. He's not going to beat the best time, of course. It's TJ Van Garderen currently in the lead. And Marc Soler is second, 31 seconds behind the American rider from Education First. In the meantime, Nairo Quintana is looking good. He still has plenty of energy left, so let's try to play it a bit carefully and, if needed, increase the pace later. So Quintana is now going on the intermediate checkpoint, the first one. The best time there is from Ioannis Aguirre, and Quintana is losing already 53 seconds. Behind him, Jakob Fuglsang. Let's see how he's doing in this first section of the race. 32 seconds behind the best time, and Alejandro Valverde Oh, I don't think he's looking spectacular here. Let's check his time here. And is going to be 15:41 seconds behind. This is not good at all. And Primoz Roglic is destroying the best time of Yannis Aguirre, 21 seconds faster. So I really need to step up with Quintana and Valverde going to the end of the time trial. So I now up the pace a bit with Quintana and Valverde during this hill. Let's see, let's drop it a bit now. I don't want to waste too much energy. And Quintana in the second checkpoint is doing the 19th best time, 1:26 behind. Yannis Aguirre still on the best time there. And Alejandro Valverde, let's see. Well, first Jakob Fuglsang losing 58 seconds, and now let's check the time of Alejandro Valverde. And is going to be, let's see it, 54 seconds behind, 11th best time here. And wow, Primoz Roglic is really strong today. He's going to, he might kill the GC after this one. And so now we have Rigoberto Urán about to finish his time trial. He's having over 1 minute ahead of Nairo Quintana in the second intermediate checkpoint. And let's see, I missed this time. He lost 1 minute to, no, this is the, he lost, I don't know his time, 1 minute and 9 to TJ Van Garderen, and Nairo Quintana loses 1:17, so he did a really strong final section of the time trial. He's 11th at the end, so that was a strong performance by him in the end. Primoz Roglic is losing time now in the end. Let's go, Valverde. Push it to the end, and is getting the 5th best time, 41 seconds behind, and Primoz Roglic wins the time trial, 36 seconds ahead of TJ Van Garderen. So yeah, the time is corrected to 37 seconds. Primoz Roglic really putting everyone in their places. Valverde was actually the best of the top riders in the GC, 1 minute and 19 behind the Slovenian. In the GC, Roglic now has 1 minute and 56 over Alejandro Valverde, and the third is Jakob Fuglsang, already 4 minutes and 5 seconds behind. This is absolutely incredible. Quintana, in the meantime, is fourth, still 4 minutes and 19 behind. So with no changes in the mountain classification, Primoz Roglic is now the new leader of the points classification after taking 25 points today. Still, Tadej Pogačar leading the best young rider classification. He lost, I think, 13 seconds to Miguel Angel Lopez today, but still has a comfortable lead. No changes in the top positions of the team classification. Astana leads ahead of Movistar, and Team Ineos is still third. And so Primoz Roglic basically destroyed everyone today. He won the time trial by 37 seconds over TJ Van Garderen, who was the best of the rest. And from the top GC contenders, Alejandro Valverde was actually the strongest one. He was 1 minute and 19 behind the Slovenian from Team Jumbo Visma. From the riders in the top 5, after Valverde, we have Rigoberto Urán in 10th, 1 minute and 46 behind. Then Nairo Quintana, 1 minute and 55 behind Primoz Roglic. Behind them, Jakob Fuglsang today lost 2 minutes and 46 to Primoz Roglic. So a really poor performance by the Danish rider. And it's amazing to see riders like Nelson Oliveira. Also, Patrick Bevin is even further behind. Patrick Bevin losing 3 minutes and 16 to Primoz Roglic is actually insane. And for a bit, I really thought the time of Nelson Oliveira was quite strong, and he loses 2:25 in the end. My best rider in today's stage was Marc Soler, 1 minute and 9 behind Roglic, 5th in the stage. So after this one, there are a few readjustments in the GC. The top 4 are still the same, Roglic, Valverde, Fuglsang and Quintana, but Quintana is now closer to Fuglsang. The other riders rounding up the top 10 are Rigoberto Urán, then Wout Poels, Tadej Pogačar, and already over 6 minutes behind Yannis Aguirre, Pierre Latour, and 7 minutes and 30 behind Miguel Angel Lopez, closing the top 10 of this Vuelta. And so after an individual time trial, which I don't really want to call as disappointing, Valverde's performance was not bad at all, neither Quintana's, but after getting my feet back on the ground after that time trial, what better way to deal with that than with a hilly stage that favor Alejandro Valverde? There are quite a few hills in the stage, some of them are quite long and steep. Surely the sprinters are not going to be able to contend for this one, and with another hill near the end, Valverde will really be trying to get another stage win. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this stage. If you have, please click the like button. Also, please comment below and tell me where you think I could have done better on this one. And if you're new to my channel, make sure you watch some of my other videos, and if you enjoy them, consider subscribing to the channel. I would really appreciate the support, and I hope to see you all next time for Stage 11 of La Vuelta 2019 in Pro Cycling Manager. Bye!